Yo, what's up guys, it's King Sean here, and in today's video, I will be breaking down Josh Conerly Jr. and how he can help the Commanders in his rookie season. And I did this video with Trey Amos and Jalen Lane already, so make sure y'all go check out those two videos if y'all have not already. But today, we're going to be breaking down Josh Conerly and how he can help the Commanders in the 2025 season. But before we do, make sure y'all leave a like down below, subscribe if you're not already subbed up, and turn on notifications. And with that out of the way, let's get straight into today's video. Alright, so Josh Conerly Jr., tackle out of Oregon, selected by the Washington Commanders in round 1, pick 29 overall of the 2025 NFL Draft. And when we took him, I feel like it was definitely a surprise to most fans. It was definitely a surprise to me. I thought that we'd just go with Brandon Coleman at right tackle and obviously Laremy Tunsil at left tackle, but I guess they realized that Brandon Coleman was really a guard rather than a tackle, so because of that, they decided to take Josh Conerly Jr. at 29, and if you watched the draft episode of the Commanders Log, you'll see that, man, they were really hoping that Conerly fell to 29, and there were some teams ahead of us that could have taken him. For example, the Texans, they were in the market of a tackle in the draft, and Conerly was one of the guys that they liked. They tried to trade back up to the first round for him, but were unable to do so. And after we took him, they just stuck in the second round and took Ariante Ursure, who isn't bad, but Josh Conerly is definitely a better prospect, and he was definitely on the top of their board when it came to tackles they were targeting. So Josh Conerly Jr., he's 6'5", 311 pounds. He has 33.5-inch arms and 10 3/8-inch hands. So he has pretty much the prototypical size for a tackle, a good tackle in this league. He has great athleticism, ran a 5.05 40 at the 40-yard dash, but most importantly, a 1.71 10-yard split, which is really, really good. And his athleticism score, according to NFL.com, is an 82, which ranks 7th out of all tackles in the 2025 draft class. So he's athletic and he has the prototypical size for a tackle. So I didn't have the time to watch all of the tackles or most of the tackles in this draft class because I was really focusing in on watching the skill positions like running back, receiver, cornerback, linebacker, etc., etc. But I did watch some of the top tackles like Kelvin Banks Jr., Josh Simmons, and Josh Conerly Jr. I did watch Conerly, and I took down notes of his strengths and weaknesses. Let's start with the strengths. He has great movement skills, man, and you know that showed in his combine performance, right? I mean, that's a really good 40-yard dash. He ran a 1.71. Obviously, you're not really looking at the 40-yard dash, the 40 time, but you're looking at the 10-yard split, and a 1.71 10-yard split is a really, really good time for Conerly, and you see it on the field, man. He does a great job of getting to the second level quickly, and his movement skills are just phenomenal, man. He accelerates hard into down blocks, works with strain at the point of attack, and is rarely on the ground. He's consistent, well-balanced sides, both diagonally and back inside, and it feels like he's always blocking for so long. Like, he never lets up at all, and I love that about Conerly, man. No matter what, he never gives up on the reps, so that's another great thing about him. And he does a good job of throwing sudden punches with good pop. As for his weaknesses, and his main weakness is his strength, his play strength. He can definitely get his play strength up, man, and you saw it in the Senior Bowl, you know, the Mike Green clip that went famous at the Senior Bowl where he just bulldozed over Conerly, and that's a concern, right? Like, that's definitely a weakness, you know, his play strength. Guys with power can easily win against him, so that's definitely something he'll be able or will have to, you know, get up, but that'll come with time. You know, he's only 21, super young, so as he develops more and more, he will build up that play strength. And with him not having the greatest play strength right now, his anchoring is not amazing, especially against, you know, guys with great power, right? So his play strength definitely something he'll have to get up. But overall, man, Conerly is a guy who has really, really good movement skills. He's a pretty solid pass protector. He's going to block until the whistle is blown dead, which I absolutely love. And although he has to get his play strip up day one, he's going to be our starting right tackle. Obviously, the transition there, they'll have some struggles, right? And he's going to be a rookie, right? So, he's going to be transitioning from left tackle to right tackle, and he's a rookie. So, there's going to be some struggles for sure, but I am super confident that Conerly will end up being our right tackle of the future. Oregon played Penn State in the Big Ten Championship game this year, as all of you probably know, and Josh Conerly Jr. went against Abdul Carter for a lot of that game, and in that game, Josh Conerly Jr. in 35 pass blocking snaps did not allow a single pressure according to PFF, and had a 77.3 pass blocking grade. And if you watch the tape from that game on Conerly working against Abdul Carter, he pretty much put Abdul Carter to sleep. Carter did not have a single sack that day, didn't get any pressures while working against Josh Conerly. Conerly basically put him to sleep, and you love to see that, man, because obviously now Abdul Carter is in the division. He is on the New York Giants, but also you just love to see him, shutting down the top defensive end in college football. And, that's just so good to see, because now he has the capabilities to shut down some of the top defensive ends in the NFL, right? Maybe he may not do it this year because obviously he's a rookie. He's switching from left tackle to right tackle, so there's going to be a bit of a learning curve, but he has the capabilities to do so, and it would not shock me that, or if, he were to do that against some of the top D ends in the NFL this year. Since 2023, over 1,000 pass blocking snaps and only 2 sacks allowed with an 83.1 pass blocking grade. So Conerly is a really, really, really good pass blocker, despite, his struggle against power and anchoring issues at times. But this guy, man, if he just gets his strength up more and more as he develops, as he learns and improves his anchor, he could be one of the best tackles or right tackles in the NFL one day. Not saying it'll happen in the next 1 or 2 years, but maybe in the next 3 to 4 years, man. We will see. Josh Conerly Jr. impressed a little bit during spring practices, even garnering the attention of our starting left tackle, Laremy Tunsil, on, I want to say, either the first day or the second day of mandatory minicamp. Laremy Tunsil talked about Josh Conerly Jr. in his media scrum, and he basically just said that he's going to be a dog, and he was asked why by one of the reporters, and he basically just said that it's because of the way he moves, how he moves in open space, how he gets to the second level. So those are all of the things that are so great about Josh Conerly Jr., right? His best ability right now are his movement skills. Like, he is a fantastic mover. You can argue that he is the best mover or has the best movement skills out of any tackle in this year's draft class. So that's a great thing about Josh Conerly Jr., and Laremy Tunsil has definitely noticed it. So overall, Josh Conerly Jr., what will he bring to the table for the Commanders this season? We're getting a guy who was really good for the Oregon Ducks in college for 2 years, starting at left tackle. He'll be making the transition over from left tackle to right tackle, so there'll be a little bit of a learning curve with him. There's going to be a learning curve for him anyways, because obviously he's a rookie going to the NFL. Working at tackle in the NFL is a little bit different because you're going to be going against, really, really good edge rushers almost every single week, right? Especially if you're playing a lot of good teams on a schedule, which we are this year. But Conerly is going to come in, be one of our bookend tackles with Tunsil at left tackle. And if he pans out to being really good, if Conerly pans out to being what we think he could be, we will have him at right tackle, Cosme at right guard when he gets back, Biadasz at center, Brandon Coleman at left guard, and Laremy Tunsil at left tackle. That could be the beginning of a really, really good offensive line in the NFL, a top 5 potentially offensive line in the NFL. So that is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, leave a like down below. Subscribe if you're not already subbed up, and turn on notifications. Comment down below your expectations for rookie tackle Josh Conerly Jr. in his first year in the NFL. If you guys have not already checked out my Jalen Lane and Trey Amos videos, make sure y'all check those videos out. And other than that, it's been King Sean, and I'm out. Peace.